This week, I read chapters 11 and 12. Although both of these chapters were based on different topics, each one of them is relevant to our future in different ways. Today, I'm going to introduce each topic briefly, however, I'm going to focus on the one that I thought was most interesting to me. Out of chapters 11 and 12, I thought that chapter 11 was most interesting, and it benefited me more out of the two. Chapter 11 is titled Persuasion and Persuasive Speaking. Persuasion is defined in our book as the process of inducing action in another person through the use of language. I like how this chapter starts off with these three questions. When was the last time someone tried talking you into doing something? When you go to a store, why do you buy the products you buy? And how many different advertisements do you encounter on a given day? These questions made me think about how many times I've been persuaded to do something without fully taking into consideration the potential outcomes and consequences. For example, when it comes to shopping, whether it's online or in-store, I'm persuaded to buy things extremely easily. Persuasion is extremely common today, and many people don't stop and think about the potential outcomes and consequences that come along with it. This chapter discusses the basic techniques that people use to persuade their audience. Then the chapter goes on to discuss how to organize a persuasive speech. There are many ways to organize a speech specifically. However, when writing a persuasive speech, you must access the audience, the message, and expected outcomes and consequences. This chapter then discusses Monroe's motivated sequence pattern. This pattern has 5 steps included in the sequence. Number 1 is attention, which is similar to an introduction. Number 2, which is need, which is basically the speaker's explanation of the problem being discussed. Number 3 is satisfaction, which is the identification of the plan to correct the problem. Number 4 is visualization, which is positive imagery to help the audience understand everything better, which is basically the meaning. And number 5 is action, which motivates the audience to do something. After reviewing these 5 steps, I look back on the situations where I was persuaded to do something, and all 5 of these steps were involved and included. Overall, this chapter informed me on the ways of organizing a persuasive speech and the steps that are taken to present a successful persuasive speech. Then we go on to chapter 12, which is titled Service Learning. In our book, it starts off saying, Service learning is a valuable teaching method that is optional for Austin Peay students in the Department of Communication and campus-wide. There are 3 service learning types and options in the Department of Communication for public speaking. These 3 include number 1, which is honor service learning, number 2, which is traditional service learning, and number 3, which is online public speaking. This chapter explains these 3 options by discussing the requirements and benefits of them all. All of these courses have been equally successful. However, the one that is right for you is your choice. I learned that there are other service learning opportunities available on campus, no matter what your major is. Overall, both chapters in 11 and 12 give us useful information that can be used for our upcoming assignments in this class and also for the future. Thank you.